What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
All right, everybody, we are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. It is Saturday morning, and I hope you guys have had a great week. I am Perry White. Good morning to everybody on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody listening on our YouTube and our Facebook Live. Glad to have you guys with us. Let's see who we got. We said good morning, Mark Smith from Sacramento, all the way from Sacramento, California. Got Willie saying good morning from Dallas. So let's just get in the day started. Let's get ready to take a break. When I come back on the other side, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the show. And what I'm doing in the first hour, if you want to call in and talk about the Southern and Jackson State game, or you want to talk about the Southern football team, you have an opportunity. I have guests in the second hour. So in the first hour, I'm opening up the phone lines, 225-499-1073, 225-499-1073. You can call the entire first hour. We can talk about it. We can go back and look at some stuff. And it's up to you. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And, Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help. Only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown!
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8, the deep ball, and that's our man, Chris Davis, for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. Hey, it is week 6 SWAC football. We got a bye week with Southern University, but let's take a look back at last week, Jackson State versus Southern. It was a tough loss for the Jaguars. 38-13 was the final score for Jackson State as they were able to get the victory over Southern University. Jackson State came in and were able to finish the game with 29 first downs, 7-13 on 3rd downs, 1-1 on 4th down. You look at Southern University, 14 first downs. They were 3 of 12 on 3rd downs. Tough day converting 3rd down conversions and 1 or 2 on 4th downs. How about Jackson State in this one? 534 total yards of offense, 337 yards passing, 197 on the ground for Southern. 300 total yards of offense, 120 passing, 180 on the ground. Both teams penalized a lot in this one. Both teams penalized 13 times for over 100 yards in this one. 1 turnover in this one for Southern. Just a bad interception in the end zone. And for Jackson State, they had one by way of a fumble. Let's look at the box scores, right? Let's go to Jacoby Morgan, who was 21 of 31, Jackson State's quarterback, for 337 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Ahmad Miller led the way for Jackson State in rushing, 14 carries for 101 yards. And then Travis Terrell Jr. right there behind him with 11 carries for 51 yards receiving, 51 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. Nate Ramper was the leading receiver for Jackson State, 5 receptions for 102 yards and a touchdown. Then you go on the other side, you look at Southern University. Ashton Strothard, who started this game, got an opportunity to play. He was 10 of 20 for 120 yards passing, no touchdowns, and that 1 interception in the end zone. Trey Holly is pretty much all Southern has at this point. 11 carries for 147 yards and a touchdown. He averaged 13 yards a carry. Let's just keep that in mind with his longest of 73 in this game. Jason Gabriel right behind him for 3 carries, 17 yards. Darren Morris was the leading receiver for Southern in this one. 2 receptions for 50 yards. That was the ball game. It was all Jackson State. Couple things to take away from this game as we get going this morning. This game was close all the way until we got near halftime, right? Big turning point was the interception in the end zone. That was an opportunity for Southern to extend its lead. That's one. We circle that. We come back to that. A second interesting point in the first half was Southern going to block the punt and run into the punter. Gives Jackson State a first down. It kept their drive alive before the halftime. Jackson State gets the first down. T.C. Taylor said, hey, let's take a shot to the end zone. And that's exactly what they do. We gave up a big play where the receiver was able to get behind the DB and get wide open for a touchdown behind the half. That put Jackson State up 17-13. So those 3 plays, in my opinion, were the key plays that ultimately helped Jackson State to lead the way to go into the second half to have that lead. That interception in the end zone, which was costly, running into the punter, and then just a miscue on defense giving up the big play. All right, Mike, let's get ready to go to the phone lines. Let's go to caller number 1. Who we got? Chuck. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning. I'm be quick. I look at what occurred in that game, and really when Trey Holly ran for the home run, made that big run. I thought it would have swung your alma mater's way, but what happened? As you said, they beat themselves. And by the way, while I'm on last night. There was a game they said they could have had someone go in and scout the game of Edna Carr and St. Augustine. You know, Edna Carr is number 12 in the country and by Max Preps. It was played at Berman Stadium, and it was a packed house, and Carr won 42-21. And there was a guy who he has one of the podcasts on YouTube. He said he was at the game, and he said he was looking around, and he said he saw the ones the recruiters were coming from the FBS schools. He saw Liberty and many others there. He said it was only one HBCU scout there. It was from your hometown, from UAPB. And he said this is the time. He said when you look at those who have off week, he said this has been a great time to be at that game because it was packed. And I watched some of that game, and let me tell you, there was those on both sides. Both of them have athletes. Look at Bryce Brown, the coach at Carr, is a Grambling alumnus, and there's St. Augustine, Robert Valdez, who played under Pete Richardson with Eric Randall, all those guys. On that team with Sean Wallace and all of them, he's the coach at Valdez is coach at St. Augustine, and that would have been the perfect time to go and watch these guys.
You know, that has been the thing, and thank you for the call, Chuck.
All right, you take care. All right.
That has been the thing I've heard a lot in terms of recruiting, especially in-state with Southern University, but let's keep on going. Who we got on the line? Damien. Good morning, Damien.
Perry, what's going on, brother?
Hey, man, what's going on? Good morning.
I've seen better days, trust me.
You've had a week to kind of get yourself together, so it shouldn't. The sting shouldn't be that bad. The bite mark shouldn't be that deep by this point in the week.
Well, it's gotten a little better, but I'll just say this: I don't think we're going to have a good season. I just don't with what I saw all year. With us playing North Carolina Central, Alabama State, and Jackson State, and plus we have Prairie View coming up for homecoming, and of course Grambling. I mean, it's like what I said many times. Graves, I like the man. I think he's a hell of a guy, but this is way out of his comfort zone. I mean, his zone. I'm sorry. Every time I just see him in pressers, it's like, I'm trying to do the best I can. I want to put this guy in this position and whatnot. I want to play this player and vice versa. That's not. I mean, it may work in the 90s, but it's not going to work in 2025. I'm sorry. And I'm glad Chuck called ahead of me, and he just pointed out something that's alarming. We don't recruit from schools like Edna Carr and St. Aug and whatnot in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, explain that to me. Is just because these players are like top tier, or is it because they're like, we good at the players? I don't know. Maybe you can shed light on it more than me.
If I had an answer, I'd give it to you, but I don't have an answer. You know, I wasn't at the game. I can't tell you who was there, who wasn't recruiting. I know I had a game last night. I ain't see any Southern recruiters there. I was over at Episcopal last night, but I don't think they wanted to go over there. But at the end,
of course not.
But
LSU country.
Thank you for the call, Damien. I got to keep on rolling, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
You know, as we have this conversation, you know, hey, call in today, 225-499-1073 is the number. I'm opening up the call lines in the first hour from 7 to 8. I got guests in the second hour, so I'm letting you get it off your chest early this morning. Let's go back to the phone lines. So we got CJ. Good morning, CJ. How you doing?
Good morning, Perry. Man, look, you're a brave man to be taking callers this morning behind that Jackson State game. But Perry, this is some of the things. I'm a Terrence Grave guy, but some things you just can't overlook. Here you are, Division II, top tier, one of the HBCU schools supposed to be in the division. But here you can't get a kicker to kick the ball past the 25-yard line on kickoff. Here you got a punter can't do but 25 yards a punt. Here you got a defense that used to be number one that is damn near dead last. You got an offense that's still confused as to what to do, even though we have gone through 3 different quarterbacks. But it's not the quarterback position that is a concern. It's just the way the thing is done, is the way the play calling is done. Now, it has made a big improvement this last game. But, sir, we just made some bad mistakes at the wrong time, and that seemed to be something that we just can't seem to get out of our system. So it'll be, I'll be thinking about which one has fell off the worst, the defense, the offense, or the special team, because they all are making F- right now. So I just said, if they lose 2 more, Perry, it's going to be dismal up on the bluff. When we get a chance to make a statement to our fans to where we can fill that football stadium every game, we fall flat on our faces.
Yeah.
Flat on our faces. And who you have to blame that? I mean, I hate to jump on the coach and everything like that, but, man, just sometimes it's like we just don't seem to be prepared.
Yeah, it didn't look good.
It's a lot of stuff that just goes on that just makes you scratch your head. And, we don't recruit. We haven't been recruited. But Terrence, I do feel, going to do a good job if he's given the opportunity. But you can't overlook some of the things that has taken place so far that he's responsible for. It ain't looking too hot. So I just say I hope it gets better, but I don't see where we're going to get better because we just don't have the thing where it takes to move forward. And I just want to listen to what your comments are. Thanks a lot, Perry.
All right, thank you, CJ. All right, Mike, let's do this before we get ready to keep going with the call. Let's get ready to take a break. I'm up against a break, so when we come back on the other side, hey, if you want to call in, 225-499-1073, let me know. Did you see any changes with the offense with Fred McNair as the offensive caller? Did you see any promise in this team so far at a 1-4 start? I don't know. Whatever you see, whatever you feel, call in. 225-499-1073 is the number this morning. I'm opening up the call lines in the first hour. After the first hour, we're going to shut them down. So speak now, forever hold your peace. Let's take a break. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal. It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
Best, and they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
Really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. First down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. First down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the first down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks has a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Good morning to everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area. On the radio, glad to have you guys and everybody watching across the world on our YouTube and Facebook. We got Sacramento. I see Dallas, Virginia Beach. Man, glad to have you guys with us. Listen, 225-499-1073 is the number if you want to call in here in the first hour. 225-499-1073 is the number if you want to call in. I would say this, and, you know, Southern right now is off to a 1-4 start on the season. Not a good start considering the team that came back from playing in a SWAC championship game last year. Considering a team who was picked to win the SWAC West this year. I talked about it a couple shows ago. When you look at this offense has lacked in terms of big player names. It has lacked production, and that's why for the past 2 years you've seen nobody selected at the end of the year on all SWAC. This year coming into the season, only one player selected on the all SWAC preseason team. That was Dupree Fuller, the tight end. Southern has played thus far North Carolina Central, Alabama State, and Jackson State. I named those 3 teams because right now in my HBCU top 5, and if you guys have heard me since the beginning of the football season, those 3 teams are top 5 programs. Coming into the season, I thought Southern had a potential to be a top 5 program. Now, no doubt about it, I will put Southern when it comes to this HBCU football, not necessarily FCS, but I will say HBCU football. Southern has perhaps had the toughest schedule of any team on the Division I HBCU side playing other HBCUs. Now, I'm not counting teams who have gone off to play the FBS schools. I'm talking about within, rightfully so, their own level. North Carolina Central, Alabama State, and Jackson State. But nonetheless, I think looking at this team, what you saw show its ugly head in the SWAC championship against Jackson State followed Southern all the way into this season and has literally been the script that Southern has followed. And when I say the script is followed, that's me trying to be funny without being funny. But it is Southern in the first half playing back and forth football with teams, keeping themselves in the game, and in the second half completely imploding. Let's look back at the SWAC championship game last year against Jackson State. Southern's defense comes out with a scheme, and they really contain Jacoby Morgan. They stifled the Jackson State's offense. Irv Mulligan not able to get off like he had been doing the entire season. Southern gets to the point to where they hurt Jacoby Morgan. Here comes Zy McDonald, the third string quarterback. Southern had no idea about scouting for this kid. He gets in the game. He takes Jackson State down with his legs and scores. Jackson State at that point coming into the second half never looked back in what happened with Southern's offense. It got stale. It stalled out. Jackson State pulled away. Let's go back and look at the North Carolina Central game. Southern had 2 big plays, Trey Holly, Cameron McCoy. It made it a ball game. Southern then gives up an opportunity in the second half to fight back. And guess what? No more points offensively. It gets stale. It stalls out. And ultimately, you see the gap widen from North Carolina Central to Southern, which you saw in the final score. Let's go back to the Alabama State game. I'm just trying to paint a picture here because I tell people you watch enough to know what you see. In the first half, Southern comes out with a great game plan to contain Andrew Body. Had him rattled. He was uncomfortable in the pocket. Anytime he wanted to roll out and do it with his legs, Southern was there to put the pressure. Southern has a slight edge. We go into halftime, close game. In the second half, what happens? The offense gets stale. They stall out. What happens? Separation. While you see the final score. Let's go to the Jackson State game. Southern does a great job containing Jackson State. Doesn't sound like I'm saying the same stuff. Southern plays a good first half. You give up a big play at the end of the half. You go and attack the punter, and you throw an interception in the end zone. Still 17-13. You go into the half, come out in the second half. I think you know the story. The offense gets stale. They stall out. The gap widens. Go look at these games. It's literally the same thing in every single game. I'm not tripping. And I tell people, it don't take much. I ain't got to watch 12 games of the football season to know what a team is. I've watched enough thus far with a 1-4 start, and I think if Valley get 2.5 more minutes on the clock, they may beat us too. It took a 4th-and-1 conversion for Southern to win that game. I think if 2.5 minutes are left on that clock, Valley wins the game. The most points Southern has scored thus far this season, we're looking at, can't get over 14 points. Let's go to the phone lines. It ain't about me today. It's about y'all. Who we got on the phone? Good morning, William. How you doing?
Hello?
William, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, good morning, man. Talk to me. What you got?
I need to correct a few of your previous callers. They're saying that Southern doesn't recruit in the New Orleans metropolitan area. We have, last year, Southern University signed 2 freshmen from the state championship team, Edna Carr. One of them's named Tyreek Bergalia. The other one's named Cody Morris. Southern also has a young man from John Curtis, Jason Gabriel. You mentioned his name earlier. He's a running back. Southern also has a young man from St. Augustine, Hubert Calise. He's a tight end. I don't know where you callers get the idea that Southern doesn't recruit in the New Orleans metropolitan area, but I'm calling to make some corrections, and that's something that you should know too, really, Perry.
Are you questioning me?
Yeah.
Why are you questioning me? I know what's going on. I let callers say what they going to say, and then I roll on because the point of the show this morning was not recruiting. The point of the show is to be talking about right now what we see with the football team. People out there that know Southern, just like yourself, if it's understood, you got it. But you heard me clarify it. But I'm not necessarily here to talk about recruiting New Orleans this morning. I'm not necessarily here talking about recruiting anywhere this morning. Right now, what I'm talking about is what we see with the football team.
But, Perry, you ask the people to call in and talk about anything they want to.
But you talking to me as though it's me that said that. I let a caller speak. We move on. If you understand the truth, then you call in, you say the truth, but you can't come at me and make it seem like it was me who said that because I didn't correct the caller.
No, I didn't say you said it. I'm saying that you should know those facts and correct the caller.
That's what I'm saying. You're speaking as though I don't
Perry,
know the facts. I know what
Perry,
Southern does, but that's for you to call in and say it and then move on instead of trying to put it on me. I'm talking about football this morning, not necessarily recruiting. If you want to make a big deal about recruiting, you can.
Recruit. I'm not talking about recruiting. These are football players that's on the team, Perry. These are football players that I'm talking about on the team.
So what are you saying?
What I'm saying is I'm just trying to correct the caller. They're saying the school does not recruit in the New Orleans metropolitan area, and I'm just correcting them.
So we can correct it, but then don't bring the energy at me as though I said it and I have to correct the caller. Callers can say what they want. I move on. Everything don't need attention. We know what's going on. But, I mean, for you to come at me with it, that's fine. I'm just saying slow down when it comes to it because everything doesn't warrant necessarily for me to have to correct the caller. If you know the truth, then you call in, you give me the truth, and then we move on. We ain't got to make a big deal about it.
Well, Perry, all I'm calling you to do is make the corrections, and that's something that you should know, too, because you go through all of the statistics, but you don't even know anything about the players, Perry.
Mike, let's go on, move on. I ain't feeling him this morning. His energy is a little off. He telling me I don't know anything about the players because what? I didn't correct somebody? All you got to do is call in, you get the information, and we move on. I know everything that I need to know about the players, but I'm not talking about the players this morning, William. I'm talking about the football team. I'm talking about a record of 1-4. I'm talking about coaches. If you've ever noticed on this show, don't I bring on the coaches? Don't we talk about recruiting? Don't we talk about the areas of where we at? Now, if you have some energy that you feel because you didn't like what a caller said, that's between you and the caller. That ain't between you and me. But I'm not going to allow you to come on here and point the finger because somebody else said something, then you trying to say that I don't know. No, we're not going to have that this morning. That's where I draw the line. This is my show, not yours. You have the option to call in 225-499-1073. But everything does not require attention to detail from Perry because I'm not talking recruiting this morning. I'm talking about what we're doing right now with a 1-4 record. Didn't you just hear me talk about what we've seen thus far with the season? How the games have gone? Let's get ready to take a break, everybody. William got on my bad side this morning. It's too early for that, William. Hey, we'll be back. Stay tuned more to Jaguar Journal.
HBCU top 5. Wait.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And, Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help. Only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown!
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8. The deep ball, and that's our man, Chris Davis, for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's more of the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody listening on our Talk 107.3 radio waves across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody out there listening and watching on our YouTube and Facebook. Let's go to the phone lines. Who we got on line one? Dion. Good morning, Dion. How you doing?
What's up, Perry?
What's up, man? Talk to me.
Man, bro, when I tell you, God, I was set up, man. I sit right in the middle of them doggone Jackson State fans, and they let me have it, bro. Oh, Perry, when we went up, I started talking so much trash, man. I say, oh, we got them now. And golly, I'm going to just tell you, Perry, we so undisciplined, man. It's just simple. We just not a disciplined football team. I know everybody point the fingers and point. The coach is not out there letting the ball run right before halftime to throw what it was, a 70-yard touchdown pass. I mean, we can't blame everything on the coach. Of course, some of the things the coach, but something gotta happen, Perry. I don't know. I mean, it's bad. It's bad, but can it be fixed? Sure it can. Am I gonna support my Jaguars? I am. But we gotta do something, Perry. I don't know what the hell feel.
Let me just say, moving forward, man, what would you like to see with the program actually to be successful?
I'm never one, Perry, to say fire the coach, fire everybody. But if it calls for changes, it calls for change. You know how it is, Perry. We could bring Nick Saban in there, and if he don't win or he don't do something, if it's not what people like, oh, it's time to get rid of him. So we just got to start. I say start from the ground up. But you got to have discipline, Perry.
Yeah.
You got to have discipline. We shoot ourselves in the foot so much. We have momentum, and here we go running into the kicker in the end zone, or a false start, or outside, or it's something crazy we gonna do when we have momentum to make the game shift. So I don't know. I'm confused, Perry. I'm lost. I'm being honest. I'm lost. Like I say, I've been a season book holder for a while, and it's like I don't even look forward to it no more. I just look forward to come up there and cook in the tailgate and feed people. I don't even rush in the game no more. I mean, and it shouldn't be like that.
No, it shouldn't.
I'm going to continue to buy my season books. I'm going to continue to support. But it's like, we got to do something. I don't know. They say Fred McNair, okay, he calling the plays now, but I don't see a difference. I'm seeing the same plays.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. And do I think we could change it around? Yeah, and what's so crazy, we still in it. We're not out of it yet, So, hey, but, man, you're doing a good job. Don't let nobody get your pressure up, man. You're doing a great job. I look more forward to the Jaguar Journal than the football game. So, there it is.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, you ain't ready to fire me then, okay?
Oh, no. We can't let you go nowhere.
Appreciate you for the call, man.
All right, man.
All right, we got somebody else on the phone line? All right, let's go back to the phone line. We got CJ on the line. CJ, what's going on?
Well, Perry, I had to call you back because with the caller that, 2 calls before, he really had some good points. But, Perry, you really had him where you wanted him as the talk show host. He was giving you just what you needed to be looking for. And that was some attention on things that just can't seem to be resolved right now. Yeah, we do recruit Louisiana, but it's not a recruiting period that people we getting from Louisiana is showing up for us. But we do have people on the team. I thought you could have answered and told them, yeah, some people on the team because you do stick with the team quite a bit. But, man, it's what I'm looking at now when people call in, Perry, is so bad, they can't even tell you what we need to do to make the thing right. That's how bad it is up there.
But they ready to talk to me about other stuff right now. And it's like, let's focus on what's at hand right now. We're talking about the quality of play. And as I was going back with that call, I'm not talking recruiting today. And it's not, when you watch most shows, if you listen to most shows, you let people call and you move on. When it's time for me to talk about specific things, then I break that down. But I got callers, I'm moving on. That's changing the subject. I'll be moving in a direction I'm not ready to move in this morning. So people say what they're going to say, they move on. People, that's part of the show, but everything does not. When you watch these shows and you listen, everything don't require for me to have to correct somebody. We just move on because we got other callers and I'm up against time. So it's good that he called, but I just didn't like the fact of how he tried to put that attention on me as though those was words that was said from me when I didn't say that. So that was my only thing with the caller.
Yeah, but I agree with what he was saying. Some of the things we could have addressed in another manner. But Perry, I'm just looking at the fact we got a team that when we come to special team play and kicking off and punting, we losing the battle there, Perry. We can't even get a punter to do 35 yards in college. We can't get a kicker to kick the ball out the end zone. We get to the 20-yard line. These are just simple things that can help us a little bit. And we do have kids across the state that is doing things, but I ain't hear nobody call in and say, well, look, we got a play over here at St. Aug's that can do this, that can help us from this perspective. We can do things with this team that got talent on this team that we haven't utilized yet. We all recognize it's a bad situation, but we ain't come up with no solution.
Yeah. And Southern's kicking now, Nathan Zimmer, they say recruiting. He's from right here in the Baton Rouge area. Went to Central. Was part of a state championship winning team last year, Williams. So, yeah, I know what's going on. Thank you for the call, CJ. I'm up against the top.
All right, bye-bye.
But for me, it is where Southern always comes to this point, and I talk about it, and you hear the frustration of the fans, and regardless of what area they want to go in with the frustration is there. When you have an opportunity with the bright lights, and I talk about this all the time, people? When the stage is big and the lights are bright and you have an opportunity to win people over, we find a way to fall short. We did it in Atlanta on national television. We did it with Andrew Body and Alabama State coming in. And we did it with a packed house. We were about 1,000 short of a sold-out A.W. Mumford Stadium on last week. Just a little over 27,000 fans packed into A.W. Mumford Stadium. Southern has to do a better job when it comes to that. And I will say for us, too, as fans, we have to do a better job as supporters of supporting the program. Southern needs facilities. Yeah, just because you look over there and you see that field house does not mean that's adequate facilities. And I say that for the next show for you guys because I got guests in the second hour. But I'll break down to you really what an athletic department is supposed to be run like when you look at on the football side of things. I'll talk about the transfer portal. I'll talk about NIL. I'll talk about what we have to do better as supporters. And one of that, and it begins with putting your money where your mouth is. The same thing goes with recruiting. I'm not here today to talk about recruiting New Orleans, recruiting Louisiana. I'm not here to talk about any of that. I'm here to talk about we got a problem at Southern because the Jaguars are 1-4. The talent does not seem to be what we think championship level. The coaching does not seem to be where we think it needs to be championship level. That's where we at right now. It's not one focus on one area. It's not one focus to worry about what the callers are saying. We got bigger fish to fry than to be worried about what somebody else is saying in terms of a caller. We got some things to fix over on the bluff. I got that for you next week. I got a bunch of calls. And we got a great show in the second half for you, so I hope you guys are ready. But next week, I'll break it down. I'll give you a true understanding. Next week will be Perry White as the athletic director. If you want to hear what I sound like as the athletic director, I'll break this thing all the way down for you. Then you call in and have conversations with me. I promise you I'll give you a show to remember. Mike telling me we got to go to the top. All right, everybody, let's go to the top of the hour. We got to get ready to take a break. You guys stay tuned. We'll be back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
the SU band will perform to you. Red light special. Director. Director band. Associate Director band. Mr. William Young. Amazing trailblazing 360 steps per minute. One of the many reasons why we use such Southern University marching band, it means showtime. And again, all Manchester that you know that up there. The Southern University marching band is simply the SU band will perform to you. Red light special. Director. Director band. Associate Director band. Mr. William Young.
All right, everybody, we are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. It's the top of the hour. Good morning to everybody out there. that's listening to us on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area. And everybody watching on our YouTube and our Facebook Live, be sure to keep up with the Jaguar Journal on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on X, on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're across all of those, man. Continue to grow with us. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Now, we're at the top of the hour. Let's talk about a little SWAC football, and nobody better than to talk SWAC football with them, my man, Wayne Cartwright. Good morning, Wayne.
Hey, what's going on, Perry?
How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm blessed and highly favored and really excited about this great Saturday of action we got.
I like that, blessed and highly favored, man. A man of the faith. All right, let's talk about some teams that may not have so much faith, Wayne, as we look around the SWAC land. What you laughing at, Mike? You think that's funny? As we look around the SWAC landscape, Wayne, you know, and first of all, my man Wayne does the show The Ride, and you guys need to keep up with it. And Wayne, we'll talk more about that show for people to keep up with you once we get towards the end of this segment. But for you, man, last week, Grambling defeating Prairie View defeating Grambling 28-13. Bethune-Cookman all over Alabama A&M in a shocker. Your alma mater. He's a Bulldog, ladies and gentlemen, 41-34. Alabama State just kicking Florida A&M right into you-know-what, 42-14. Texas Southern squeaking out and surviving up in Itta 23-20. How about the Golden Lions? They're 1-0, Wayne. 1-0. And at the top of the SWAC West, beating Alcorn 24-20. And then my Jaguars, I'm going to leave it at that 38-13 final score, Jackson State. Wayne, for you, looking at it from last week, man, first of all, let's start with that Alabama A&M and Bethune-Cookman game. I chose Alabama A&M coming into that game, but I did not realize Cornelius Brown was on the injury list and was not going to play.
Yeah, so Quad, as we call him, Quad Brown, he had hurt his ankle in the fourth quarter of the Tennessee State game, and he didn't play against Lane, so he came into the game questionable. So Eric Hanley started, and he did an admirable job. I mean, he threw for over 300 yards, threw for 3 touchdowns. You know, the difference for the game for us, though, last week wasn't so much on offense, it was about defense.
Mm-hmm.
He gave up 4 explosive plays over, 4 explosive scoring plays over 20 yards, like 79-yarder to Javon Ross, a 41-yarder to Ross on a reverse. So big plays were abundant in the first half. Second half, our defense, we settled down because what's part of the trend for us, we've only allowed 35 points in the second half of our last 4 games. But in the end, it just was a little bit too much of Bethune-Cookman with their multiples on offense, with being able to run the ball with Robinson and Smith. And then, you got Malik Huggins and the aforementioned Javon Ross at wide receiver, and then Cam Ransom, their senior quarterback, who is just a stud right now.
Let's look at that Prairie View and Grambling game. I mean, Prairie View snuck it out 28-13 over Grambling. I had chose Grambling in this game. Both teams the week before had good non-conference games. Grambling had beaten East Texas A&M. Prairie View had just gotten past Northwestern State, man, up in the State Fair Classic. 50+ thousand people in Dallas attended this game, man. Prairie View, if it keeps going, they got Alcorn this week, and we'll talk about that. But Prairie View right now seems to be in the driver's seat if it all works out to take over the SWAC West. Pivotal game, big game to get past Grambling.
Absolutely. And what was the key in this game was how much they harassed Zay T-Set. He threw the ball 43 times, but he had 3 interceptions. And also the key to Prairie View, one thing that they've been doing really, really well over the last 3 ball games is rushing attack. They got over 200 yards rushing again between, the quarterback Kevin Carter and Lamaje McDowell and also Chase Bingman. So it really wasn't – Prairie View has been struggling to pass, but if they're continuing to run the ball like this, they definitely, to your point, will continue to be in the driver's seat of the SWAC West.
Let's take a look at Texas Southern and Mississippi Valley. Texas Southern finally getting the win with Chris Dishman in the 2025 season, 23-20 on the road at Mississippi Valley. Boy, they squeaked one out, Wayne.
Yeah, this was a game that Valley really had in their control. Josh Brown had a really good game, threw a touchdown, ran for another. Where this game really came off the rails for Valley, they were up 20-16 right at the 2-minute timeout, and then Coach Buckley decided to call for a fake punt. Now, when I asked him during the coach's call on Monday about that, he said that earlier in the game, they had a ball snapped over the punter's head that has resulted in the safety, and they had a couple faulty snaps. So they thought that they had a really good look to go and fake the punt, and then it was unsuccessful. And then next play, shot play, KJ Cooper throws it down 48 yards, and then 2 plays later, Etienne Renfro's in the end zone scoring a game-winning touchdown. So the tough loss there for Valley, but for Texas Southern, they really needed that, getting their first win of the year.
Let's head up to Memphis, Tennessee. It was the Southern Heritage Classic. It's different to see no Tennessee State, no Jackson State, but this year it is a SWAC matchup. It was the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, UAPB, my mom's alma mater, my neck of the woods, taking on the Braves Alcorn State, who's right up the street from Baton Rouge up in Lorman, Mississippi. 24-20. How about the Golden Lions? 2-2 on the season, 1-0 coming out of that game.
Yeah, this one was the Christian Peters coming out game. He threw for 323 yards, a couple touchdowns, and he also had the game-winning rushing touchdown with about 5 minutes remaining. These guys, they did really, really well on offense. Now, they gave up a bunch of yards on defense, over 400 yards, but they made some timely plays and they forced a couple turnovers. And if you're Alcorn, still being winless on the year, they wasted a really good performance from Jacorian Sewell, who rushed for 225 yards and a couple of touchdowns. But the bugaboo for Alcorn still shooting themselves in the foot with penalties and making some self-inflicted mistakes. And that's something that Coach Cedric Thomas said they desperately need to get fixed ahead of this big game this Saturday in their home opener on the reservation against Prairie View.
And then let's look over in Tallahassee. How about this butt whooping Alabama State put on Florida A&M? 42-14. This thing was close early on, but in the second half, Bama State really flexed and pulled away. And it wasn't so much of Andrew Body. Let's look at the running game. Hosclaw taking off in this one. Alabama State all over FAMU. FAMU came into this game 4-0 over Alabama State since joining the SWAC. Big win for Bama State and Eddie Robertson Jr.
Yeah, and this game, like you said, Andrew Body, he threw for 106 and 2 touchdowns. Hosclaw had 135 on the ground. But this one was the Marcus Harris second show. He only had 29 yards rushing, but on those 3 attempts that he had, they were all 3 touchdowns. And this game was, again, this was another thing for FAMU where R.J. Johnson III, only 133 yards passing. They were outscored 28-8 in the second half. This was just 4 years of frustration that Alabama State had, never beating FAMU as members of the SWAC. They took all of that frustration out and they exercised all the demons in one afternoon.
It was an exorcism, huh?
It was a complete exorcism.
All right, Wayne, we got about 4 minutes left here before we got to get ready to let you go. Let's look at some matchups today. Prairie View and Alcorn. I got Prairie View in this one, man. Alcorn just a bad-looking team right now. Their first home game of the season. It's October, and they're just now getting a home game. Prairie View's looking good against a winless Alcorn team.
Yeah, Prairie View, this is a really big game for them because sitting at 2-0 in league play, if they can get this one, they're heading to their bye week where the next game they'll play at Southern, something you'll talk about obviously in the coming week. For Alcorn, if they're able to get this win somehow, they'll be right back in the thick of things. Surprisingly, it would be their first win of the year, but they'd be right back in the thick of the race there in the West.
Let's look at UAPB on the road, taking on Texas Southern. Texas Southern having to play this game at Houston Christian. What you think about this one? Pine Bluff 1-0, Texas Southern 1-1 in conference play.
Yeah, these two teams, when they get together, it's a mixed bag. Last year, Texas Southern won 31-23 in November. Texas Southern struggling a little bit on offense, whereas UAPB is a little bit hot right now. So it's looking pretty good that UAPB could get to 2-0 in the win column there in the SWAC.
It's homecoming over in Montgomery, Alabama, as Alabama State is hosting Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman got by your alma mater last week. Alabama State trying to keep the iron hot as they continue to strike.
Yeah, so expect the scoreboard operator to be busy in this one because both offenses have been explosive. Lots of explosive plays, lots of yardage. Bethune-Cookman hasn't been able to play a whole lot of defense. So if Alabama State plays a little bit more defense in this, combined with how much they play offense and being multiple, expect a high-scoring game, but I like Bama State in this one.
And I wanted to save your alma mater for last. Alabama A&M hosting Jackson State. This game over in Mobile, Alabama today. Your thoughts? Jackson State coming on over to Alabama, but it's not Huntsville. It's all the way at the bottom of the state. The Bulldogs and the Tigers.
Yeah, so they've won four straight in this series, Jackson State. And the last two meetings, they got out 38-10 and 35-7 at halftime before A&M straightened it out in the second half. Again, this is another game I expect to be high scoring. Hopefully, Quad Brown is ready to go in this game. And I really, really, for the first time in 4 years, have a good feeling that my team could actually get a win in this.
What y'all do with the pink scooter Dion left behind?
It's just somewhere out there. It's somewhere out there. I don't know.
Hey, my Jaguars at home this weekend licking their damn wounds, man, making sure we got attacked last week by a tiger. So we trying to make sure we okay as we head into next week game. Wayne, let everybody know where they can find you and keep up with you, man.
Yeah, so I'm Wild Wayne Cartwright on YouTube. My shows are always on Wednesday nights and Sunday nights. I do a pick show on Wednesdays and I do a recap show on Sundays. So yeah, follow me, find me, man. I'm also on X at Wayne C Jr. 4, and doing big things, man. Loving this whole culture and loving this whole ride, man, through the SWAC.
And people miss your entire breakdown that you used to do in those different groups, man. He's transitioned from the writing. Now he said, I might as well put my face and my voice out there for the people to see and hear who I am. And, man, I thoroughly enjoy it, Wayne. Appreciate you for coming on today, man, and being able to break these games down for us.
Hey, anytime, my man. Anytime, my man. You be blessed.
Yes, sir. That's the voice of my man, Wayne Cartwright. Let's get ready to take a break, everybody. Stay tuned. We'll be back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And, Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help, only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown!
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8. The deep ball, and that's our man, Chris Davis, for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, everybody, we are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody out there. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Good morning to everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM live this morning across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody out there listening and watching on our Facebook and YouTube live. Glad to have you guys with us as well. Be sure to keep up with us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're on X. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. And hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel as we continue to grow. We want you guys to grow with us. It costs you nothing. It is free. We don't need your social security number. We don't need to know how many people in your household. We just need your love and support to be able to hit us up and subscribe and follow across all of those different areas. And as we continue to keep today's show going, hey, we're talking Southern University softball. They have some things coming up, and nobody better to talk Southern softball than the captain of the ship, and that captain is Coach Brittany Williams. Good morning, Coach Williams.
Good morning. Good morning. I feel like after that introduction, I need to be cheering or something. They got me hyped.
All right, don't be giggling now. We just, hey, we got to put respect on you, man, as they say in Memphis. We're gonna put some respect on you, okay? So Listen, Coach, you got some things coming up, and one of those things is a camp. Let's talk about the camp that you have coming up and information out there for everybody to know what they need to do to be a part of it.
Yes, so our camp is homecoming weekend, so it's the Sunday after, and we have 2 sessions available. We have the 8 a.m. session and then another session that starts at 1. You can register at totalsoftballcamps.com, and then if you can't get on there, or if you didn't get that, then you can just email Coach Alex or Coach Josh or myself, and we can get you registered as well. We also take registration through social media. So if you want to DM us and ask us, we can send the link straight over there as well. But we are excited. This is one of our favorite camps, our prospect camp. So we not only get to show how we do things at Southern University, but we get to see who's going to be our next Jaguar too.
Get that information one more time for anybody out there that wants to be a part. Let them know the email. Let them know whatever they need to do. Because, listen, she is growing something over at Southern University. If you didn't get a chance to watch the Southern University softball team last year, listen, they are headed in the right direction. She's the right person for the job. Give them the information so they can all grow with you, and it starts with this camp.
Yes, so the website is southerntotalcamps.com. And then the email is Brittany, so I'm BRITTNEY .williams01@sus.edu. So either one of those ways you can get registered.
You sound like you had to spell Brittany because there's so many different variations of how to spell it, right?
Yeah, so mine is the correct way. So I just want to let the world know that. NEY.
Hey, I'm going to roll with it, Brittany, okay? All right, hey, you got it? Hey, I'm rolling with it. Let's talk about some other things coming. Homecoming is coming up, and you guys, aside from the camp itself, are going to be doing some other things homecoming with the softball.
Yes, so this is a big weekend for us. We first, off that Friday at 3 p.m., we have our alum game. So we ask people to come out, watch that, support. That is not just a time for us to play our alum, but also for our alum to give feedback to our current players, kind of give them inspiration and help them carry the torch and understand the tradition of Southern softball. We share cheers there and all of that. It's super fun environment. So any alum that's in the area or that's coming in, traveling in, we'd love to have you. It's 3 p.m. on Friday. And then that Saturday, we have a tailgate, starts at 12, we ask the alum to come back as well. So my vision is to create an environment where the alum can come back and they can tailgate, they can get to know see their teammates again and get to know the new players on the Southern softball team as well, and just create this family that Southern is so adamant about, that what we preach, what we talk about all the time is creating a family and a loving environment. So come out there and tailgate with us. We're not asking them to bring anything. We just want the fellowship. And then, like we said, that Sunday is the camp where we teach the skills and drills the same skills and drills that we teach our players.
Now, for any alums out there, I got to first ask, how far back are we going? Because some ages, how far back are we going? And is it?
Well, I'll tell you, we had the first lady that was, she came to me, Miss Erica. She is definitely a supporter of our program, and she came to our first ever alum game. And, I mean, she wanted us to pitch for real. She was like, I don't want slow pitch. I don't want anything. She was part of the first team, and she did her thing. So
now, when we say Miss Erica, the fact that you said Miss Erica, there's some age there. What was Miss Erica at? We talking about her 40s and 50s. What was Miss Erica at that time?
Oh man, don't have me do Miss Erica.
Okay,
like
I
that.
won't let me do Miss Erica like that. I'm sorry, Miss Erica. But for anybody in terms of alums, do they need to get in contact with you before? Do they just show up? How does this work for them?
Yes, we would like to get them their information before. However, if you can't, for showing up, we will not turn you around. But they can email me again and tell me that they're interested in playing, and we'll put you guys on teams and send you all the information that you need to have game day.
Now, listen, y'all better spell Brittany right. She made sure she put an emphasis that it's the correct way on how she has her name spelled. So Don't mess that up. I'm just putting that out there because we don't want no issues. But talk to me about how important it is what you're building at Southern right now, coming off a season of one of the better seasons in Southern history in quite some time, and what you're building and why it matters to bring both the past and the present together to try to get this program headed in the right direction.
Man, I am so excited about what we're building here, and I believe that having the alums speak to us. So last year we had several that were on that 2003 team that actually won the championship, the last championship that Southern softball has won. Ton of them came, and just the chemistry that they still had these years later, and showing my team, like, that's what you need. Like, we can't just be playing individuals, but like friends on and off the field. And they kind of shared that with us and showed us how important that was. And I mean, they still had it too. So they were very intricate in that, and they are supporters too. I'll see them in the stands and everything. So we're asking for the alum to come back and share with us your journey, because their stories were different too. Like, they didn't have a field when they were there, and now we have the field and everything, and they're just trying to help us understand where we came from. So of course that helps my players play a little bit better as well.
I want to ask you this because, as you said, in the past they didn't have a field. You have a field now, but what does support, and honestly answer this for me, we got about 4 minutes before we go to a break. What does support look like from us as fans and supporters to help you be successful in this ever-changing world of college athletics, particularly here on the softball side?
There's so many ways to support, and it doesn't even have to be financially. It is simply, if we have a post, like our fall schedule is out now, if you see that running around social media, please share it. You never know who can see it, or who your friends that maybe didn't see it on our page, get them connected with our website. Also just talking about the program. So there's so many individuals or alum that have been like, hey, I saw somebody that was interested in Southern. How does she get on the team? What does she need to do? Just sharing our social media with them. So we're really growing that. And we want people to go there to get the information from Southern softball. Another way to support is coming to our games. So seeing us in action, not just hearing about how hard these athletes work, but watching them and seeing them and understanding the game and knowing them and just them being able to see your faces in the stands makes it a lot more pleasant. And then the other thing, of course, is monetary. There's ways for you to donate monthly if you can't give a sum, or if you want to just write one check, or if you want to donate equipment or a shirt that you like. We will accept all of those type things. So we ask again, just share something, show up, or if you want to give a monetary donation, we will definitely accept that as well.
Listen, we're going to pass that collection plate around one more time for the softball team. But, I mean, I don't like to shy away from the financial aspect of it, because money makes the world go around, and money what fuel athletics, because we're talking you trying to get young ladies to come play for you. We're talking about you getting equipment to give these young ladies to play with. We're talking about just the overall, just everyday operations of a softball program. And see, we get so caught up into the football aspect. We get so caught up into the basketball aspect. But I think we often forget about the other sports. Softball is one, and softball is an integral part of any athletic department. And what it does for Southern and what you're building there, it's going to take monetary support from the people that's out there. And we got to understand what that looks like in terms of support, because on this level, people sometimes have a disconnect to what softball is and the type of finance that it takes to make it work.
Mm-hmm. It's a very expensive sport. That's why growing up, I was literally the only Black female on a lot of the teams that I played for. You're talking about a bat that costs $100, a glove. You get a good one, you're looking at $250 to $300. Uniforms, socks, like all of those things cost a ton of money to be successful in this sport. And these girls have poured their finances in there to get where they are now. So it will be helpful for our fans to come and support them as well.
For anybody out there that may want to donate something, whether it's equipment, whether it's finances, whether it's snacks, whether it's whatever the case, get the information. I always want people to know, if you're out there and you have a heart to give to help support athletics, it ain't always football, it ain't always basketball. There are other sports out there, people, and this is one that is growing and heading in the right direction. Coach Williams, let them know how they can contact if they want to be able to support financially or any other way.
Yes, you can just easily, like I said, shoot me an email, brittney.williams01@sus.edu.
And that's Brittany spelled the correct way for y'all out there that didn't know. I just want to make sure we got that circled and put down in history. Coach Williams, thank you for coming on this morning. We appreciate you, and you know you're welcome anytime to help the program, to come on and talk about it and get any information out there for everybody to know.
Thank you. Oh, I do have one last thing.
If
you're at Southern University and you're interested in playing softball, we do have walk-on tryouts October 10th. So same email. You can stop by my office, which is located in the Mini Dome, and we can get you hooked up and get you tried out for this softball team.
Thank you, Coach Williams. What any qualifications? They need to have a certain GPA. They need to be what is it?
Yes, at least a 2.5 GPA, of course. And other than that, just some skills.
Yeah, we need to help her with our APR score too. Now we need that 2.5 and up. So, hey, Coach Williams, appreciate you coming on this morning as always. Good luck to you, and I hope everything work out. If you got anything else, you're more than welcome to come on and promote it.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, everybody, that's the voice of Coach Brittany Williams. Make sure you spell that Brittany the correct way. All right, let's get ready to take a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, more to Jaguar Journal. It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
Best, and they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
Really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks. As a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks. Fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss. And a nice catch. Ricks on the 1st and 10.
All right, everybody, we are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody out there listening to us on Talk 107.3 FM around the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody out there watching on our Facebook and our YouTube Live. Glad to have you guys with us. Be sure to keep up with the Jaguar Journal on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. We're on X. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. As we continue to grow, we want you guys to grow with us. And we're talking about something big on this Saturday morning because the Southern University Marching Band, we all had last week, was action-packed with the Southern and Jackson State game, the Boombox Classic Battle of the Bands. But guess what? We got another action-packed weekend, and it is tonight at A.W. Mumford Stadium. It's the Southern University High School Battle of the Bands, and nobody better to talk about it than the assistant band director at Southern University, my man, Cedric Todd. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm doing great, man. Excited for this this upcoming evening, man. Got some big things in store, so we just ready, man.
You get to catch me in my radio element today. So in my radio element, let's let the people know about the Southern University Marching Band Battle of the Bands tonight, man. This is going to be at A.W. Mumford Stadium. Cedric Todd, give us all the information that we need to know in terms of the bands, and let's start there. The bands that are participating this evening.
Okay, so we have bands coming from Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Louisiana. We have Baker High School, Plaquemine High School, Donaldsonville High School, Southwest out of Little Rock, Arkansas. We have Port Arthur Memorial coming from Port Arthur, Texas. We have Whitehaven coming down from Memphis, Tennessee. We also have Endicott, St. Aug, and we have Chalmette High School all coming down this evening. The gates are going to open at 5 p.m., so it's going to be an event that you don't want to miss. Southern University doesn't have a game this weekend. We have LSU not home this weekend, so we have just an open weekend for everybody just to come out and enjoy themselves at this, just enjoy this event to check these high schools out, man, to see the work that they're doing.
And not only are the high schools going to be participating in it, but, of course, the Southern University Marching Band will be there as well, correct?
Oh, you know it. The human jukebox is going to be right there, dead smack in the middle, singing an 8E, right in the middle. You'll be everybody hear that ferocious sound that comes from the Jaguar Band, that human jukebox, nothing other than a human jukebox.
How important is it to have a Battle of the Bands? Because it's been a very long time since Southern's band has hosted a high school Battle of the Band on campus. I can recall going to one when I first got here. But how important is it to host these young people in their art of music to be able to have them on the campus right there at Southern University?
Well, it's all about pushing the education and pushing that aspect to keep that hunger and that drive in the students. A lot of times in the high school realm, we've gone to what we call the blowdowns and the showdowns in the gyms, and we've gotten away from the art of putting on the actual shows. And to have these groups being able to come out and put on a almost 12-minute show for you guys is just going to show the work that these kids have been doing, and they get to put it on the big stage, a grand stage, in front of everybody, and then it's going to be recorded, and that's something that people are going to remember for years. So it not only does it help them, it in turn shows that, hey, we one day want somebody out there in their field is going to be in their human jukebox.
Mr. J always tells me when we have conversations, because I always ask him about where we are with band in the world today. He said, man, so many across the land have gotten away from the entertainment. The entertainment is truly the halftime shows. And so to be able to have bands go out and march, particularly on the high school level, because a lot of high schools, would you agree, have kind of gotten away from the art of marching?
Yes, sir. They've definitely gotten away from just the teaching of it, the fundamentals. It's a discipline that comes along with that. With seeing those, teaching those kids those fundamentals on that field, that the hard work and the effort that it takes to do that, and it just instills something in that student, and then that student in turn pushes that to the classroom. It all connects and flows together in the end. And when they can put that detail and that attention to detail in, those students tend to excel, and we miss that aspect, and we need it back in the high school level, and no better way to bring it here, right here in our backyard, and let those students showcase that and show what they can do.
Now, you say from Arkansas, Little Rock, Southwest. Now, I don't know nothing, Pine Bluff High all day, baby. I don't, Little Rock South, that's a new school. I'm not much of, know much about them, but at the end of the day, at least a school from Arkansas. But for you to get schools from around the region to show the talent of young people here in the South, man, how important is that to bring them and just showcase that talent? Because all of these bands are going to have their own style.
Correct. I mean, it gives them an opportunity in front of an adjudicated panel. We have a prestigious adjudicated panel. We have Dr. Dow Taylor, former director of bands at Jackson State. We have Dr. Zachary Harris, who's amazing, comes from the University of Mississippi Valley. We also have none other than our own Mr. Lawrence Jackson, who's going to be adjudicating. So they get to put on for these prestigious judges to adjudicate them. So that moment right there alone sets that precedence that they get to show that. And so bands are just eager and hungry to come in and show that amount and show their talent to us. And it's very big to see those students. We start here and then we move on every year. It's just going to keep growing and getting bigger and bigger.
Listen, y'all ain't got nothing to do tonight. You better go get your tickets. You better be in A.W. Mumford Stadium, and you better go support the young people, because most of all, what I love is supporting the youth. The youth more than ever needs our support, and they need to see us in the stands, and Southern University needs our support. They need to see us in the stand. Cedric Todd, for the people to come support and be in the stands, give us the ticket information and what all they need to do in order to be there and to support.
So what they can do, they can go to the Ticketmaster.com, look for the Battle on the Bluff. Tickets are $10. $10. You can go to McDonald's and get a whole meal, and you can get a ticket for the same price, $10. We'll have concessions, we'll have everything. And gates open at 5 o'clock. You can also purchase your tickets at the ticket office here on campus. We need to see you there. Come support our youth, come support our students. This is our future. We want to see our future to continue to be bright.
I got to ask you to do it one more time. We like on repeat. Say it a little louder for the people in the back one more time to give them this information for tonight's Battle of the Bands.
One more time for tonight. Gates open at 5 o'clock. You can go to Ticketmaster.com. You can look up Battle on the Bluff here at Southern University. You can go to the Southern University ticket office, or we're selling tickets at the gate. We want to see your face in the place. Remember, our children are our future. Our children are our future. Come support those students.
I was ready to sing the song off of Coming to America. What about about the entertainment tonight? Will a DJ be present and that such thing?
We have DJ Fred that's going to be this, and we have this amazing host. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. His name is Perry White.
Yeah, I heard of that
we
guy.
Have a great, yeah, he's from Arkansas. I mean, he said he's from Pine Bluff, but you know.
Hey, don't be hating on Pine Bluff now, man. I don't know why Pine Bluff High didn't show up, but I can understand, man. They ain't what it used to be, man. But no bands from Alabama?
Well, you know, these days travel is a little expensive, so I understand, but they gonna be in here next year. We're gonna make sure that they're here.
Hey, man, I just want to know, no bands. What them Bama bands at, man? You know, I hear so much about that Mobile. Give me some Mobile school. What the Mobile bands? Give me some bands.
All right. First of all, you got B. John L. LaFleur High School.
Oh, that must be your school. Excuse me.
You know
that got to be your school.
You know. And then we got Matty T. Blunt with director of bands, Mr. James Starward, former section leader here at Southern University. We have Epeva Taylor, who's the brother of Dr. Taylor, who's at Viger High School in Mobile. We have Ben C. Rain. We have Davidson High School. We have Murphy High School. We have Williamson High School. So we have a plethora of schools down there. All those schools are starting to grow. They're getting back to that level, and we're seeing that culture grow back in Mobile like it used to be. So we're looking to create the same atmosphere right here in Baton Rouge to get these bands just to push it and do the same thing.
You know, I can recall, especially back in the day, man, it used to be so much Southern influence. I mean, if you did a battle of the bands in the state of Louisiana, I'm pretty sure every band from Louisiana came out with one drum major and did a Southern drill, man. Things have kind of changed a little bit. Are we having to get back to it to get band directors back into a lot of these schools, or are we looking at some funding issues at schools? What's going on in the world of music and music education from the high school and junior high level these days?
Well, I tested some of that, you know, during COVID. Some of that kind of pulled away because students had to, you know, of course, they were, you know, away from the school. You know, you had to be 6 feet away. You couldn't play. So that took some time to redevelop these students. And now the directors are getting back into it. It's just a hunger to build that culture again. We just got to get that hunger back in. And once we can build that hunger and we see the initiative and see that, hey, those students that are in music and that's in band, those are students that's excelling in school. They're making the highest test scores. They're the highest reader scores, the highest math scores, because music entails all those subjects. And when you're able to put that into a student and we can drive those students and that the arts are very important and we can get that into the school systems, I promise you we're gonna push over to the next level.
Let's do this one last time. Information for the people out there for the Battle of the Bands tonight on the campus of Southern University at A.W. Mumford Stadium. The Southern University Marching Band will be there present with many high schools from around the regions. Give us the high schools one more time and the information to purchase tickets to be in the place tonight.
So that we're going to go to Ticketmaster.com looking for Battle of the Bluff, or you can buy them on campus. We're going to have them we're going to open the gates at 5 p.m. Gates open at 5 p.m. We're going to start at 6 p.m. We have Baker High School, Johnsonville High School, Plaquemine High, Southwest out of Little Rock, Arkansas. We have Whitehaven coming out of Tennessee. We have St. Aug coming out of New Orleans. Edna Carr coming out of New Orleans. We have Chalmette coming out of outskirts of New Orleans. And we have Port Arthur Memorial High School coming from Port Arthur, Texas. You don't want to miss this event. And you know that the number one band in the nation, in the world, the Human Jukebox, is going to be there to put on a show for you as well.
I hear you emphasizing. I don't claim Little Rock, so I just want to put that out there for anybody listening. Perry White don't claim Little Rock. It ain't Pine Bluff, okay? I'm Pine Bluff through and through. So, but shout out to Little Rock Southwest. They
say y'all all the same, huh?
No. But Little Rock Southwest better bring it if they gonna come represent Arkansas. They better bring it. Don't come out there just doing anything, Little Rock. All right. So, cause it's some heavy hitters. Them bands. I heard some bands you named. I know about Whitehaven. I know about that Aug. I know about Edna Carr. Now, that Port Arthur, I don't know. They used to be. I got to see where they at today. But you name some bands, people, let's come together. Let's go out there and watch together and see what this looking like. And yours truly will be hosting this thing. Man, I'm looking forward to tonight, man. Cedric Todd, the assistant band director at Southern University. Man, thank you for coming on this morning and giving out this information.
Thank you for having me, and we appreciate you guys. And we want to see your face in the place.
See your face in the place. That's the voice of the assistant band director at Southern University, my man Cedric Todd. Thank you, Ced.
Hey, thank you, Pete.
All right, everybody, let's get ready to take a break. We'll come back in on this side. We get ready to close things out. Stay tuned. More of the Jaguar Journal.
Thank you for watching the Southern University Human Jukebox. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
All right, everybody, we're back. It is the Jaguar Journal. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us this morning as we get ready to close things out. Want to thank my man Wayne Cartwright coming on this morning. Yeah, y'all better go check out the ride with my man Wild Wayne. He had initially started out in the world of Facebook writing these long but very interesting outlooks on the games on Saturday within the SWAC, and ultimately took it to another level and created the show out of it, man. Wayne is a very talented guy, man, and glad he's having the success that he's having. And I want to thank him for coming on the show today. Alabama A&M graduate. You know, a lot of people swear I hate Alabama A&M. I just did not like Connell Maynor. I say that publicly. But other than that, man, thank you, Wayne, for coming on. I want to thank Coach Brittany Williams coming on, Southern University softball coach. She's the head coach over there doing great things, building something. She has the camp coming up as well as the alumni game. Homecoming is right around the corner, so no better way than to get that information out there now so you won't say at the last minute, I didn't know. Well, now you know if you didn't. And I want to thank my man Cedric Tye coming on, the assistant band director at Southern University. Southern having the Battle of the Bands tonight on the campus at Southern University at A.W. Mumford Stadium. Hey, man, get the kids together. $10 tickets. Get the kids out the house tonight. Get them off the video games. Now, I don't know if you can get them off the phone because they taking the phones with them. But get them out the house. $10 tickets. Take the family. Enjoy yourself. Get out there and support these young people from bands all across the region as they come here to Baton Rouge and on the campus of Southern University, showcase their talent. And you know, anytime you get some of them New Orleans bands in the mix, man, you know it's going to be rough for everybody else. And speaking of rough, let's go back and looking at some games around the SWAC this weekend. Listen, SWAC football is in full effect. You know, we spent the first hour talking about Southern. Southern has a bye week, so I'm going to let Southern break. But next week, I'm back on it again because Bethune-Cookman is next week. But I'm going to let y'all chill. I spent the whole hour in the first hour talking about it. But interesting, Alcorn hosting a home game for the first time this year. It's October 4th, ladies and gentlemen, and they're just now playing a home game, and their schedule reflects it. 0-4 on the season. Prairie View comes in 3-2. That's going to be a good matchup up there in Lorman, Mississippi. Listen, I actually was going to go to this game. Me and my friends, man, listen, we had a few weeks before the season started, we looked at games that we circled and said, man, this is a potential game to go to. This is a potential game to go to. I thought this was a potential game to go to, but about a week ago, I called everybody and said, not me. I'm not going up there to watch this. I'll pass. I'll move on. I think Prairie View should handle this soundly. And guess what? Prairie View is already 2-0 in the SWAC West. They've beaten Texas Southern, and they have beaten Grambling. Now, I'm going to count Northwestern State in there because Northwestern State beat Alcorn, too. So, in that game, it was two SWAC West teams battling it out, Northwestern State. But Prairie View got past them. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it don't count. But to me, it counts. Northwestern State is about as good as a SWAC team. Prairie View going up there, they need to get that win if they want to continue to keep their sights on winning a SWAC Western Division title on the first-year coach Tremaine Jackson. Bethune-Cookman on the road taking on Alabama State. Bethune-Cookman 2-3, Alabama State 3-1. It's homecoming over in Montgomery, Alabama for the Hornets. Listen, don't count out Bethune-Cookman. Have you guys paid attention to the last 3 games they played? They can score a lot of points, which is going to be an issue for Southern next week because Southern can't score points. But it ain't about Southern. This is about Bethune-Cookman, who upset last week Alabama A&M over in Daytona Beach. Watch out, Alabama State, who got the big victory at FAMU. Andrew Body and Cass going to have to get themselves together. This is going to be a shootout. I think that is just like Wayne said, hey, whoever operating the scoreboard, be ready to go to work today. I'm looking forward to this matchup. Jackson State and Alabama A&M over in Mobile, Alabama today. Of course, we all saw Jackson State last week. They're 3-1 on the season, taking on Alabama A&M, who is 3-2. I mean, listen, if Alabama A&M doesn't lose last week, this sets up a really, really big game in the SWAC East, but it's still a big game, just not as much. But Jackson State going to have to come through with this game. And then Pine Bluff taking on Texas Southern. Pine Bluff 2-2, 1-0 in SWAC play. Texas Southern 1-3, 1-1 in SWAC play. Of course, they've already lost to Prairie View. They got the victory over Mississippi Valley State. But let me tell you something. Alabama State and Jackson State, if they both win, set up a huge matchup next week in Jackson, Mississippi for Jackson State's homecoming. It'll be Jackson State versus Alabama State. If both teams win, they'll come into that game 4-1. And I'm telling you right now, next week I'm headed up to Jackson, Mississippi. I'm going to watch this game because, in my opinion, I think that's the SWAC championship. I really do. Mike, how long I got before we got to get out of here? 1 minute. I think next week, if these two teams handle business this weekend, which is not going to be easy with Alabama State versus Bethune-Cookman and Jackson State versus Alabama A&M, but right now these are the 2 best teams in the conference, hands down. Everybody else is playing SWAC football. These 2 teams are playing FCS football, and at the rate they're going to meet next week if they both knock it out today for Jackson State's homecoming, and I think this is going to be a huge game. And for me, I think, in my opinion, this is the SWAC championship. Anything outside of this is a constellation prize of anybody else that's going to play one of these winners. But in my opinion, this is the SWAC championship. I like what Eddie Robinson Jr. has built up there. I like what T.C. Taylor has built up there as well, looking at both of these programs because they're just not football teams. They're programs, and I'm thinking this should be something worth watching. So I'm going to go up there. I'm going to hang out a little bit up in Jackson, Mississippi next week, but I'll still be here next week to do the show. So, hey, I got to handle my business here at home first, and that's the Jaguars. But outside of that, I'm going to go up there and watch it. I'm just letting you know. So it is what it is. Hey, man, thank you, everybody who's tuned in this morning to the Jaguar Journal. Everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM around the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody watching on our Facebook and our YouTube Live. Glad to have you guys with us, and it's the man upstairs says the same. We'll be back at the same time in the same place next week. As always, it's the Jaguar Journal. Have a good weekend, everybody. What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.